What is up, awesome people, and welcome back to Thingamajig Thursday, the day that I do absolutely random things like, for example, leak the Alolan Poochyena that's coming to Ultra Sun and Moon. Psych! No, it's just Asta being really cute. I know, she just really looks like a Poochyena, but that's not the topic of today's episode. No, this is the topic of today's episode. Complete and utter madness. This is supposed to be my Pokemon trading card collection. Well, you'd be wrong there too, because this is actually only about 75% of my collection. And it's a complete and utter mess. So today's Thingamajig Thursday, we are going to be looking at not only my entire, well, not really my entire, my 75% of my collection, and we're also going to go through and actually sort things out, because I only recently went to a TCG event, and this is where it really kicked in, because I had to try and fix a deck that was missing a few cards, and for the life of me I could not find these two particular cards. So I was like, oh boy, I'm gonna have to search through something like 100,000 cards, which is about the estimate of what I've got here. And look, there's Asta being really cute once again. She's just loving the star of the show today, and I was like, I can't find anything. So it's starting to come very clear to me now that I actually need a better storage system. The tins just don't cut it, and there was another box there of cards as well, which just definitely does not cut the job for storage. Anyways, these are all the Pokemon tins that I have gathered throughout the years, and I seriously started gathering TCG cards back in 2008. I got into TCG back in 1998, very long time ago. I was only a wee little kid back then, but now, when I started, I was like in high school or something. I was going through a bit of a rough time, and believe it or not, TCG was like one of my escapes from the tough life that I had between the stresses of school and the stresses of home and everything, without going into too much detail, but these just made life a little bit more bearable for me. So anyways, there's things like trainer kits there, there's a few elite kits there as well that I've already opened, there's a whole bunch of other shenanigans in there, there's a lot of binders in there as well, filled with like holos, reverse holos, half arts, full arts, and a whole bunch of other things as well. And one day we'll be going through all my binders, because I've actually got full collections there, which is making up about 25% of the other part of the collection that's not here. So in this container we also have a few booster packs as well that's been opened. There's also a Battle Arena deck as well, which, believe it or not, I actually bought dupes of this without even knowing it. So I think I ordered these like off a Troll and Toad or something, and I think I went back and went to order something else, or I derped and thought I haven't ordered this yet, and there was like smaller numbers left, so I bought it again. So I had times 2 of that. Moving on as well, we've got all of the accessories for Pokemon TCG, and not just TCG as well for Pokemon, there's also for Yu-Gi-Oh! Magic of the Gathering as well. So when it comes to accessories, I'm fully equipped here. But we do have a a deck box here that's tin. This was actually from the Oris and X and Y days, so there was like 2 particular things you could get. You can get a Yveltal and Xerneas tin deck box, and a Charizard X and Y tin box as well. So these work very similar to my actual deck box I actually do run for events and League if I ever do get to that stage. So you can carry like your dice, your coins and all that, and you can even run a deck mode, but the one I'm carrying is like an Ultra Pro one, which carries 2 decks, and it carries all the other stuff that you need for those particular events. Now we got this disgusting mess. It's just full of cards everywhere. So there's like a whole bunch of energy cards there. And believe it or not, by the end of this video, you're going to be absolutely gobsmacked by how many energy cards that I have. At one point, I was actually complaining I didn't have enough energy cards on me. Well, believe it or not, now, as I said, I will never be complaining about a shortage of energy cards. So they're from like one of the elite kits, which I've not opened. Well, haven't opened until tonight. But yeah, like this is just doesn't cut it at all, and not only that, it's not good for the cards either. So I had no idea how long I've had these spare cards sitting around here, but that's a good thing. Like, they're not really that valuable, they're all dupes, they're all spares, they're all commons and uncommons. All of my rares and all that are normally in the display folders that I have. Look, these are one of those blend energies that I love running from the Dragon's Exalted decks. But yes, that'll be another thing we have to sort out, and believe me, by the end of it, as I said, you'll just be absolutely gobsmacked by how many cards are actually in this bloody thing, and combined with the tins as well. So yeah, have fun watching me sort that out, because that's an absolute mess. So up here as well, we've got some top-loaded sleeves. So these things are absolutely awesome. If you are a serious collector and you collect really rare things like your full arts and all that, I highly suggest getting a whole bunch of these. I actually do need to buy more of them. That's all I've got in regards to top decks, top loaders. I actually do need more of them because there'd be times I pull EX and full arts and all that, and well, in the past they'd normally be sitting like in a storage somewhere, and by the time I get around to actually put them in a folder, they've bent and all that, which is really bad for the cards. Anyways, here we've got these tin decks. I've had these since 2014, believe it or not. They've been sitting there collecting dust since then. So as you see on the sticker there, 2014 EX Power Trio, Blastoids, Venusaur, and Charizard tin decks, or decks, or boxes, whatever they call them. I never can remember what they're called. And yeah, there's another dupe of the thing that I showed a little bit earlier in the video. I still don't know what they call these. It's very similar to like the trainer kits I used to have. But as I said, like, these are great for if you want to start off with TCG. I always suggest picking up a trainer kit or something. It's always a great way of introducing you to how to play the TCG and everything. And speaking of absolutely gobsmacking, I have 216 unused Pokemon trading card game online codes. Oh no, this is going to be so irritating to scan because it's only like 10 codes per usage or to scan or claim at one time on the online thing. And we actually covered this in the previous Thingamajig Thursday, was that Oris lunchbox thing there. So if you want to scroll back to the previous Thingamajig Thursday, you'll see that. And now we've got a few other things. So this is a blister box that comes with the Magma and Aqua pins. They're from Oris, very long time ago. I actually never collected that collection either, but I think I saw them in the shop and was like, that's really cool. And speaking of really cool or absolutely astounding is the fact that I have Phantom Force booster boxes times 3. Yes, back from 2014, I seriously bought all this stuff to cover on my channel, and I never got around to doing it. So they've been gathering dust now for 3 years, nearly 4 years. Jeez! I really need to really get a stick up there and get a move on with covering that. So yeah, I got some theme decks as well from Phantom Forces as well. So there's like Bolt Twister, and I think the other one was like Burning Winds or something. So it's Galvantula and Talonflame theme decks. If you are serious about getting into TCG competitive or just want a place to start with TCG, I actually do recommend going for theme decks. But back in the day, theme decks were really bad, or actually were really good for gathering trainer cards and support cards and all that for your decks, for competitive, for league and all that. But theme decks now are excellent starts for getting a deck together. So that was that, and now I've got all the playmats I've collected over the years, from 2008 to now. This is absolutely insane. As I said, I went to an event recently, and I was almost tossing up which playtech to kind of bring with me. It was like, why am I tossing up and deciding which playmat I want to use? Just use one for Pete's sakes. Now we go on to the pride and treasure of my collection. So we have a PSA graded 10, that's the best you can get by the way, of a Edition 1 base deck, sorry, from 1999 Charizard Holo. Not Holo, but the actual booster pack. So it's got 11 cards in it, 10 of them are like, you know, your normal cards and all that, and then one would be Holo. Now, please don't comment in the comment section below saying, oh my god, KrimZen, you could have PSA graded a bloody Charizard Holo, which is worth more than the actual booster pack itself. Please don't remind me. But anyways, this is the Burning Shadows, which is the more recent expansion that's just came out for the Pokemon trading card game. And this was the whole reason I went to the recent event, was to actually celebrate that. So a huge thanks to the local guys as well for running that event and running up a local shop as well, which, believe me, I'll be buying a lot of stuff from that. I've got a few things on pre-order as well, so expect that on Thingamajig Thursday in the future when they actually do arrive. So now we've got a PSA graded 9, which is mint as well, which is Blaziken from 2000, I do believe, from the Platinum expansion. So this is 4th generations. So you can kind of see how far the cards have come since 4th generation to now, and now you're going to get a complete blast from the past here. 1999, this is Jungle, I do believe, Dragonite. So this is what the cards used to look like back in the day. So if you thought the cards from the Pokemon Trading Card Game Boy Edition looked bad, well guess what, that's what they look like in real life. They actually were pretty cool back in the day, not as complex as they are now, quite simple. And that's when the game was quite as pretty much a basic stage was those days. Now we have a card from 2000, which is the Ancient Mew, and this is the movie card that you got when you went to the movies. Now, I never went to the movie, but I have been blessed to be able to get an Ancient Mew card since then. I've got one I can actually in a binder and I've also got a PSA graded one. I think this is PSA graded 8 or 9, I can't remember, but it's exactly what it is. It's the exact same card featured in the movie, and it's the whole reason why the villain ends up going after the 3 birds, believe it or not. And of course, we've got the 1998, we've got the Dark Dragonite Holo, and this is a Japanese card, Mint 9 as well. And as you can see there, this is what the Japanese cards look like. It's not too much different to what our cards look like, but it's still pretty cool regardless. So now we've got another, well, you would think it's a tin of booster packs, but you're mistaken. This is actually a booster box. My good old partner Pimp Knight bought a booster box online. He wanted to see if the Sun and Moon boxes were matte for himself, and this is what it rocked up as. It's a tin full of booster packs, so when I get around to covering that, believe me, I'm probably going to be getting a lot of good pulls there for good old reasons. So finally we've got the a few booster boxes, or boxes in general. These are like the EX box collections there, so I think I was given that one by Pimp Knight as well for one day. Oh, and look, this is the lunchbox I covered in previous Thingamajig Thursday. If you want to check that out, make sure to check the... Hopefully I've got a little thing in the corner there for you to click on. And anyways, these are all the other boxes I need to open up as well. So again, another big collection of boxes there from over the years. We've got the Mega Rayquaza collection there, the Blastoise EX Red and Blue collection, the Zygarde collection, and I still don't know why I bought 2 of these. I've got a Hoenn collection ×2, so there's a Groudon and Kyogre collection there. I think they come with like little figurines in them as well, which is really cool. So basically that, as I said, that's 75% of the collection. The other 25% is like 20th anniversary stuff, which will never open, plus my binders and decks and all the other shenanigans I've got hidden away around the house, plus in these boxes. So without further ado, from this point, let's actually get on with the topic of the video, and that is actually sorting this chaos out. So first things first, let's have a look at the storage usage that I'll be using for my cards. So this is from BWC, or BCW or something like that. These guys, in regards to trading card collecting and all that, is the way to go. These guys are responsible for PSA grading and everything. And when it comes to, as I said, the quality of their products, let's just say they're a little bit better than Ultra Pro. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Ultra Pro. I have Ultra Pro a lot of things like binders and deck box, as you saw. But BCW, while they are really good quality, you are paying for the quality, of course. They are a lot more expensive than Ultra Pro and really hard to come by. I mean, heck, I had to buy these off eBay because they were so bloody expensive to ship to Australia as well. So anyways, to put these together for those who are interested in BCW's products, this is the Super Shoe storage. These are supposed to hold something like 3,000 standard size trading cards. They're like the whole baseball cards and everything. In regards to gaming cards, they're supposed to hold 4,200 trading cards there. And with the top loaders, which is the little plastic hard things that you saw earlier in the video, they hold about 600 of them. So they hold quite a lot of things. And in regards to like their size and all that for actually holding things, which you'll see later on in the video, these are actually quite good. Like when I actually received them, I was a little bit shocked the fact that there was actually cardboard, and for how much I actually paid for these, it was like, okay, these are better be good. Anyways, to put these together, these are actually quite easy. This is the lid that I'm putting together at the moment, so you just fold everything together like this. So this is just to prepare for the folding bit, because you gotta fold this together. So you just gotta fold them in like that, and just fold that in the little tabs like that. They should try and like connect to the little holes there. And then you get the other side as well, flip that up and fold the tabs in as well. I'm just making sure they're nice and flappable, I guess that's the word I'm looking for at the moment, so they can get into place a little bit easier. Once you do that, just put them down like that, and then you grab that other tab, fold that down, and then the 2 little tabs on top of that should be able to slip right into those holes there, and there you go. Like, you've got a real nice strengthened lid there. So that's like one half of it, and then you gotta do the same on the other side. And as I said, like, at first glance, I'm like, this isn't gonna be very good. I can't believe I've just paid good money for this. And believe it or not, as I said, like, the strength on these are actually quite decent, so it is quite sturdy. But unfortunately though, if you ever come across waterlogging or anything like that, you're kind of screwed, and so are your cards if you haven't got them like protectors and all that. So that's the lid, and as I said, they're quite sturdy, quite nice looking as well. So as I said, might look like just plain old cardboard, but in the end product actually does look pretty good. So this is one of the dividers, so a super shoebox actually holds 2 of them. And by the way, the fact that I'm saying a shoebox, you can actually use a shoebox. Everyday old shoebox from the shop or something like that as another storage as well. I decided to go like a little bit fancy and go for something a little bit on the professional end, but As you can see in the end, like, they actually do really, really work for storage. So for this part, you just fold them all like that. There's like a double fold area like that, so it makes it just a little bit of a width there. Fold these tabs on the outside because they're actually going to slit on the end of the box. So I don't know if you guys can see that, but as it's just got a little bit of depth into it, but that's the little divider there. And as I said, there is ×2 of these, so just do that again for the other one. These dividers were a real pain in the behind to actually do, so you'll see me struggle trying to put them actually in the box. It wasn't until the very last box I actually figured out how to actually put them in properly. So welcome to the hell of putting these things together, the bottom. So this is what the bottom looks like to begin with. So the very first thing I'm going to do is again try and get all these flaps in their decent position so they curve a little bit better and fold a bit better when I'm actually putting the box together. Now, as I said, this is the part that really was annoying to put together. As I said, didn't really work out how to do it properly until the last box, and I got about 8 of these things too, so I will speed up the next part with me just putting them together. So for this part, you got to put both of these flaps up, which is easier said than done, by the way. As you can see, I'm struggling there. Not only that, you got to grab one of your dividers and put that in. So this is where we folded our flaps to the outside, so they can just sit on like that to the edge of the 2 flaps there, which I'm trying so hard for the absolute living life of me to try and keep them up, and it's just plain not working. This is actually quite embarrassing to watch in the rain at the moment. I still can't get it, so I'm using a bit of coordination here as well. These actually do take a bit of coordination to put together. So I finally got it, and at that point I'm just gonna flip this thing down and clip it right into the hole, because that's what you're meant to do. So you do that, it does make things a little bit easier, still quite on the hard side. And what you do from this point as well, you flip it on the other side, which I don't do, and this is how not to put these boxes together this way. What you do from that point is actually flip the other side down and clip that other side so that's not moving, because now that other side can still move. But regardless, you're going to do the same on the second divider, but with the other tab. So the middle one's still up in the air, and just clip that down as well and try and get those two together. And what I did not do was actually fold the other side down. So you can see that I've got to unclip it again, pull that out and redo that step again, because I derped and forgot to put the other side down. So I'm struggling. I've got it down at least. Now I've got to put the divider back in. Oh, goodness gracious me. This is really embarrassing to watch. This is probably embarrassing for you guys to watch too. You're probably sitting there going, oh my god, she's a bloody idiot. I'm slowly getting there, but as I said, this step is a lot harder than what it looks. So I finally get it in, clip it in on the tab there, and all I gotta do now is just flip that middle tab in, and that just holds those two securely together. And now I gotta do the same with the other side. The fact that I've got one side secured, it's actually quite easy, but if you did both sides at the same time, believe me, it's a lot easier to do. And there's actually another way of doing it as well. If you just take it really slowly and hold it up and then make sure the tabs are actually properly folded and everything, it is actually quite easy to put together, I found out. But you won't find that out until the last box. So here I am putting the last bit together, just trying to get them somewhat securely in place, and I'm trying to straighten up the dividers as well, although the tabs kind of do the job for me there, so I don't know why I bothered to do that the hard way. So I'm clipping down the tab here, that looks like one's in. Make sure you do push down a little bit on this as well, just make sure they're all clipped in, and they're actually quite relatively easy to maneuver into the tabs as well, which is real good. And there we go, that's the actual bottom of the shoebox done. I believe me, I now feel sorry for those who actually put shoeboxes together for a living. If it's anything like that, they're top medal for them, because bloody hell, I couldn't do it. It'd probably take me a whole week to get used to it. And there we go, that's what the actual shoebox looks like in the end. As I said, it's actually quite decent when it's all put together. It actually is really, really sturdy, and when I do finally put the cards in, believe me, I definitely need them. So yeah, I'm just gonna go through here and just assemble the remaining 7. So, have fun. And also, sorry, not remaining 7, remaining 6. That was the second one I put together. I already put one together just to see how hard it was, and yes, it was indeed hard even after doing it one time. So yeah, I'm just going to speed this part up, and once we're done, we'll just catch up for the next step. our storage box ready, it's time to dive into the belly of the beast. So here we go, we have our container full of cards, and just looking at this just makes me so terrified. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna sort these out, and the way I'm sorting these are gonna be via their color or their type, as we call them in the TCG. So I'm gonna sort them out by like normal types, the grass, or the colorless, not the normal types, the grass types, the water elements, the fire elements, the lightning elements, the steel elements, the dark elements, the fairy elements, the dragon elements, the trainer cards, and the energy cards. So there is I've probably left one out there, but there's a lot of types to do in TCG. So as you can see here, I'm just going through and putting them into their respective element types. So I'm kind of one of those, I'm so used to the sorting it out by type, because that's where that the old Game Boy Color game or Game Boy game of the TCG used to do it, and that's the same way that the Pokemon Trading Card Game Online also does it as well. Another way to do it through Pokemon Trading Card Game Online is via which expansion they came from, which after I do this video would be a good chance I'm doing it. So there's a bit of explanation there what I'm probably going to do there, because one good thing about the way that these boxes work is I can potentially, you know, just put all the cards in there, but then go through and take it the extra mile and get certain little dividers, which BCW also supplies or can buy from there as well. Or I can even use like little dividers that the trainer kits also supply as well, so I can go through and divide them up via expansion pack as well as type. So if I'm looking for a certain card that I know for a fact comes from, like, say, Dragon's Exalted, a dragon card from Dragon Exalted, I can go for that particular expansion and grab the card that I want. Or let's say if I wanted a card from Flashfire that's a fire type, I can go to the Flashfire expansion from the fire box and be like, alright, this is the card that I need, pull that out and off I go. Same with trainer cards and all that. Or for the trainer cards, I can sort them out via item and actual trainer cards as well, because supporter cards are classified two different ways, item and supporter. Supporter cards you can use once per turn, whereas item cards you can use multiple times per turn, which is quite handy. Not like the old days where you can just spam the old supporter cards, like you could see in my old Pokemon Trading Card game for the VC. I'm just spamming up my bills like there's no tomorrow. So pot of bill, what's that do? Old Yu-Gi-Oh joke combined with Pokemon there for those who just didn't quite catch the joke there. So yeah, basically again, I'll just speed this up and I'll catch you guys again once I finally moved everything from that box into little piles. And believe me, there's more than what you think. So take a guess how high the pile's gonna go, and then we'll go to that part of the video. So about half an hour has passed since I have started sorting them out, and this is what the end result of just that one box was. And yes, it is actually quite impressive considering that was only a small box. It may not look that small, but yeah, it was actually quite small. So I've sorted that into types, as you can see, and there isn't a lot of fairy types, there isn't a lot of steel types, and there isn't a lot of dragon types. The rest of them are just absolutely insane, but that's only considering the fact that steel type was introduced in second gen, of course, but there hasn't been a lot of them as per se in a lot of the expansions, and I haven't really got that many of them. Same with Dragon. Dragon actually came in really late in the expansion. I think Dragon was introduced in 5th generation's expansions, like Dragon Exalted I think was the very first Dragon type to be introduced in TCG, so there isn't a lot of them either. And believe it or not, I actually don't have a lot of electric types there, which is really strange. So that's just one part of it down, and yeah, I still gotta go through and sort them out via the tins. So that's the impressive part, is how much cards I've actually stuffed into tins. So here's all the tins, and here I am just bringing them out one by one as well. So there's like the Empoleon one from 4th generation, there's an Xerneas one from X and Y Days 6th generation, Mewtwo from 4th generation, I think that was with the Mewtwo and the Darkrai. There's also a container there as well with some cards in there as well, but I don't think I actually end up sorting them out in this video. I end up doing it outside of the video. Rhyperior from 4th gen, there's a Deoxys from 5th generation, Superior from 5th generation as well, that's from like the basic ones. There's a Samurott from 4th generations as well. Like, as I said, I just keep pulling them out. It's like, just keeps coming and coming. There's an M-Ball one, there's a, I don't know what that one is, a Darkrai thing from 4th generation, Darkrai again. I think there was like a few Darkrai ones. I've actually lost count how many times Darkrai has been featured in the TCG. There's a Black Kyurem, I think that one is, or a Zekrom one, I can't really tell from this point. But yeah, I just keep pulling them out. It's like, pull. Oh wait, that's an Netty one, that's a Delphox one, that's a 6th generation one, there's a Reshiram one that I haven't used. There's also like some in there as well that have all my used Pokemon Trading Card Game online codes as well. So yeah, I pulled out most of my tins there, and it's just unreal. So I'm just going through and seeing if there's anything else in this tub that I need to actually pull out. And oh, look, these are all from like the old EX boxes. So when you get certain EX boxes, they'll come up with like these little figurines. And believe me, I collected them just for this reason. I thought the figurines were real cool, and this is how I'm treating them. They've survived about 3 or 4 moves so far. I'm surprised they're all intact. So I probably should move them somewhere else. KrimZen, why are you putting them back in the box? Oh god, I really need to put them somewhere decent. Anyways, these are the binders I'm talking about. So there's one from like 1st generation. I think that was given to me as like a seller or bonus, buyer bonus or something. I can't remember what the bonus was, but they gave me that for free, which was really cool. So I'm just going through now and like putting all my tins in a certain order for you guys to actually see them properly, because as I said, there's just so many tins, and there's even more probably to come. More, she says. She's gotta be lying. No, well, there's all the entire collection of my tins so far that I've opened up. Obviously, there was 3 early in the video that I showed that I've yet to actually open up or even take out of its seal that I've gotten from Troll and Toad. So yeah, they're all the ones that have trading cards in them at the moment. And I will say this now, there are 2 of them that I will be keeping cards in there because they're like my 4th generation ones. And I thought I might save them for another rainy day with Thingamajig Thursday, because they're kind of the cards I started with when, as I said, come into full-time collecting for Pokemon TCG. So I kind of want to pay them a bit of a better tribute. So we'll cover something like that down the track. But anyways, this is what I'm talking about in regards to why tins are bad for huge collections like this. They just plain just don't cut it. Like, you can see there one of the cards is bent. That is not good for the cards at all. I mean, I've tried my best over the years to try and keep my cards in best quality as possible. And that includes all of my EX cards and everything, which is why I've got a lot of binders for them. I mean, heck, even in the last segment as well, you probably saw in the background there was a lot of folders in my bookcase. That's all my TCG folders dedicated to just trading cards. They're all my cards for the collections, and as I said, maybe down the track I'll actually do an episode dedicated to flicking through my folders and showing you guys just how insane or what lengths I've gone to make sure I've got a full collection. So basically at this point, I'm going to go through now and grab all the cards out of these tins and put them in their respective piles. And believe me, you think the piles are big now? They're going to get even bigger. So prepare yourselves, it's going to get insane. So again, I'll speed up the whole process of taking the cards out of the tins and putting them in the piles, because I've already pre-sorted these tins out, so they're going by respective types or types of cards already, so I don't really have to do too much sorting, so I'll just skip to that part. there we go, there is the complete piles. We have the Leaning Tower of trading cards. And yes, I have a lot of energy cards. As I said, I don't think I'll ever be complaining about a shortage of energy cards ever again. It's a shame my deck didn't look like that when I started the last episode of the Pokemon trading card game for the Game Boy on Virtual Console. So anyway, as you can see there, I don't have a lot of steel types at all. So that'll probably go back into the tins there because it's not really worth a whole storage box just for that. And even then, like, they'll fit into the tins just fine. And even Dragon and Fairy, like, they're small enough to go into the tins. They don't really need a storage box of their own. So they're definitely going back in the tins. So I think I end up showing that, like me putting them back into the tin at some point. But the rest of them, as you can kind of tell, they're definitely going into their own storage boxes. I mean, look at the normals there, and even if I get a proper view on those trainer cards, holy moly, that's a lot of support cards there. That's all the theme decks for you there. And there's like Psychic, Water, Fighting's on the Atoll side. The Grass definitely is on the Atoll side. I think X and Y must have had a lot of grass types or something because I think that's where they mostly came from. But energy cards, I got no idea where they came from. So anyways, here we go. We've got our first storage box here, and we're finally going to start putting these cards in a better resting home. So as you can kind of figure, when I said I had 8 boxes in total, I don't have enough for each type to go into a box. But as I said, like, just judging from some of those piles there, it might have been good I didn't go full out and buy a box per type because I might have just been wasting a box for particular types there. Like, as I said, Fairy, Dragon, and Steel definitely don't need their own little box there. So, in topic of like these boxes and what type of storage you can actually get, I went for this one because obviously there was like a lot more room for me, and I knew things like trainer cards and all that would have a lot of cards to actually sort out. Or even things like energy cards. I think this alone, at the moment, takes up about half of the one row as it is, and I still don't reckon the description for these boxes are quite right. I think I fit a lot more than 3,000, I think it was, or 4,000 cards in here. Then there was other options like a single row of cards, which definitely was not enough. I mean, the advantage of going for like one of them, which is like just one division there, like just one row like that. You can have one like that, but then you can go up the ante a bit further and have like 9 of them, and then have like a little cupboard for them, which was sounding pretty cool because it means I could put cards in there and have like all my cards in one area. But then I thought in the long run, you know, this collection's just only going to get bigger. It's like, where am I going to put my cards when I run out of room in just one box? I mean, energy cards, as I said, has already taken up 1/2 of that row right now, and there's still cards on the floor, so that's coming close to 3/4 filled there. So if I keep getting energy cards from theme decks, they're not going to be fitting, which means I need another box there. So as I said, in the long run, it just wasn't going to work. So I just thought, you know, for a hardcore collector, the super shoebox was the way to go. I mean, there was even a shoebox below that which was one division, so it's just only 2 rows like that. I mean, that could be good for most people. Depending on how hardcore you really want to go with card collecting is depending on what type of, I guess, storage you really want to go for. If you have a small collection of just, say, you know, a couple of 100 cards, the tins are definitely the worst way to go. If you like, just just a casual collector, that's definitely the way to go, and that's how I originally started collecting cards. Is I used to put my cards in my tins, and the amount of cards I would collect in each expansion before another tin, 2 tins or 3 tins, whatever how many tins they bring out these days. Back in the day, I think it was like 2 or 3 they would bring out for 4th generations cards, and I think after that they made still 3 or something like that, maybe more. I can't remember, but by the time they would roll around as a new set or anything, I still wouldn't have enough to fill up a tin. But that was back in the day when I was casual about it. But when I went hardcore in about 6th generation, the tins just don't cut it anymore, unfortunately, which is real sad. So I think I fit about maybe at best 50 to 100 cards, depending on how rough you want to treat your cards. But if you really want to treat them quite kind, I only fit about 50 cards in there, which, as I said, just does not cut it if you want to be serious about collecting Pokemon TCG cards, or even cards like Magic the Gathering or Yu-Gi-Oh in general. So that is one way of going it. But as I said, like, if you want to look at this type of storage, which is from BCW, I think that's what they call it. I'm pretty sure I've pronounced that name wrong 3,000 times in this video already, but you've really got to fork out a bit of money for this type of storage. I mean, I'm fine with doing it because, as I said, I collecting cards has become a huge part of my life as well as a major part of my hobby. It is extremely expensive hobby too, but it is something that makes me real happy as well, and sharing that passion with a lot of people as well, like whether it be here on YouTube or even in real life with local events and everything, it is something that I definitely have a huge passion for, and I definitely enjoy doing it. Talking about TCG and talking about different strategies, talking about cards in general, talking about why I enjoy TCG itself is something I love doing, and finding out why other people love the game as well, and finding out other people's experience with the game as well, and then like branching out on networking, meeting new friends and all that. It's just something I really enjoy about the TCG, and it's one of the main reasons why I've gotten into TCG. I mean, heck, as I said, like the local event I went to, I met people who've just gotten into TCG or originally did TCG a couple of years ago and stopped doing it for financial reasons, got back into it or something, and just talking about them and teaching them new things, whether it be about the TCG or even just talking about them in regards to Pokemon in general, about why we like Pokemon so much. It definitely is like a really uniting thing, and I kind of wish that was something that people looked at more often, was the different ways that Pokemon products in general, doesn't have to be the games themselves or the TCG, just Pokemon in general is a way of uniting people, making new friends and everything. I mean, after that one event for TCG, it's definitely made me, if anything, it's made me even more passionate about TCG, knowing that there's other people out there that share my passion for TCG. It's just absolutely unreal. I mean, I talked to these store owners who are running the event as well as running their own little store that I definitely will be buying from all now, which is even encouraging me more often now to like post more TCG related stuff, because it's like rekindled just my love for it, and just reminded me about why I just love this whole product to begin with. Was the reason, this whole main reason was like sharing my passion for something with someone else, or just hoping to, you know, come across someone else who loved Pokemon, or even just the TCG itself. Didn't have to be like the whole franchise in general, just something part of Pokemon, something to like talk about while we duel and everything. It didn't matter about the win or loss in the end, it was just about making new experiences in the end. I think that was the main reason why I enjoyed TCG so much. And to be honest, like even before that event, I didn't really have a chance to play TCG with anyone else. Collect them just themselves, for me, there's just something about it. It's just like an addiction. It's like, hi there, my name's KrimZen, I'm addicted to Pokemon TCG. I just don't know what it is. There's just something about TCG that just, oh, it makes me so, I'm just addicted to it. That's just all there is to it. It's the reason I've got so many cards. I'm just addicted to this thing. It's like a drug. If anyone's got any other similar experiences with TCG, or it even doesn't have to be Pokemon in general, just anything at all in life they've come across, or like something they've had a hobby with, and they've gone to like some type of event or some type of local function, met other people, and it's rekindled and made them even more passionate about that particular hobby. I mean, heck, there's something like a few other things I've done locally as well. One of them is like models and all that. I used to enjoy doing painting models and all that. Locally, we've got like a Warhammer 40k club as well, and just going there and seeing the guys and how passionate about the actual game actually got me passionate about it as well. I was like, oh wow, I really want to play this game, because there's just these passionate people about it, just giving me a reason to explore the game and find out about it. Like, I've never played Warhammer 40k at all in my life, let alone seen it before. I've seen it before in a display thing, but seeing these people talk about Warhammer 40k, or even just as Yu-Gi-Oh! Or something like that was another thing that used to play at the club, or even just me talking about Pokemon, it's just kind of hoping that our passions is enough to pass that on to someone else and make them passionate about the thing that we're talking about. So they're all sorted now, so I'll quickly show what the box actually looks like with everything inside of it. So as I said earlier, there was going to be 3 types that wasn't going to be going into the storage boxes. There was Fairy, Dragon, and Steel. So as you can see there, I've already put 2 of them in tins. As you can see, they're pretty well snug there. They're not bending or anything. They've got plenty of room to breathe and everything, move around the tins if needed, so they won't bend or anything, which is awesome. So anyways, this is what the cards will look like in the storage box. So from here, I've got Fire, Dark, and Trainer and Supporter cards in this box. So obviously the big line there at the bottom is all my Trainer cards. The one in the middle is my Dark cards, I do believe. And at the top there is all my Fire cards. So Normally, as I said, I would have a separate box for each, but I actually didn't have enough storage boxes. I was actually too short, so Fire and Dark had to sneak in with my trainer cards, which is perfectly fine. I mean, the other ones are a little bit uneven when they're sitting in the pile together because all my cards are all in one side, so they're kind of like the leaning tower of boxes at the moment, which is not quite good, but hopefully when I start opening up more booster boxes and all that and all my booster packs that we all saw at the very beginning of this video, maybe that will change with how many cards I've got to put in these boxes. But obviously, as to say, I will get a lot of cards in the future and just continue to fill up these storage boxes, which is going to be really cool when I do finally fill up an entire division there. So I reckon, those trainer cards are coming very close to 3/4. And anyways, this is what all the boxes look like in the end. As I said, it's a leaning tower of boxes and the 3 tins there as well with my 3 types. I just don't cut it for a storage box. And at the same time as well, when I was talking about 2 different tins that I never showed on screen, I will talk about them in the future as well, like how the backstory about my whole way I got into full-time collecting for Pokemon TCG. And we'll do a whole episode on that and just go through particular memories I have of going to the shop and everything as a high schooler and collecting TCG. And as I said, like, TCG made a big impact on my life. It's made me extremely happy. And it's also allowed me the opportunity to branch out with a whole bunch of new people, meet new people and everything. And as I said, just give me another person or group of people to talk to in regards to my passion, whether it be the TCG itself or Pokemon itself as well. Whether it be to people on the internet, talking to you lovely people, you awesome people if you made it 40 minutes into the video, by the way. And even just people in real life that I didn't even realize there was so much of a following for the Pokemon TCG. So that's just really, really, really cool. Like, for something I thought, you know, at the start was like maybe quite childish, maybe I would lose the interest down the track, it's still kept with me even now. Like, we're nearly 10 years later and I'm still collecting Pokemon TCG cards. And as I said, this passion started right back in 1998 when my parents bought me my first theme deck, which was like the Erica theme deck and the Blaine theme deck, I think it was, right back then. And I picked it up back in 2008 and I haven't looked back. I seriously enjoy the Pokemon TCG and hopefully this collection is enough to have that as like a staple head to say, yep, I'm a TCG nerd. So anyways guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's, as I said, it's kind of got no direction. I hope you guys enjoyed it regardless. And as I said, there should be plenty of content now for Thingamajig Thursday. I've given you guys a bit of an insight into what's to come for Thingamajig Thursday in regards to TCG openings. And there are a few other things as well I do want to experiment with Thingamajig Thursday. But until then, this is Lady KrimZen saying ciao for now, but not forever. Ciao!